Welcome back, everybody. Today should be a quick one. We're just going to remove the bright cap from this Vox AC15 CC1. Stick around to see how that's done. Okay, in order to access where the bright cap is, which should be right across the volume knob here, you can see it's these two pins right here. Now we're going to want to desolder that and do it the right way, which means removing that board that connects all the pots. Had to remove the back panel, which is these, 6 screws going across here. Even then it was a little stuck, so one little trick is to loosen these sides that hold the chassis in. What can often happen is these are cranking down so much that they actually pull the cabinet in so much that the back panel kind of feels stuck. Okay, I've pulled all the knobs. I'm going to loosen up the potentiometers here, remove those nuts so we can get to the board. Okay, just a quick note in here in terms of how do I know if this amp is safe to work on. This is mostly for the benefit of the customer, but if anybody else is working on one of these and it's one of your first times working on an amp, this may be something that you want to know. Now, we need to discharge our amplifier, right? Which means draining the filter caps. So what I'm going to do is set my meter to DC volts, volts DC. It's the volts with the line across it, instead of this is volts AC with the squiggly line. And what I need to first do is see if there's any voltage present on the amp at all. So I'm going to take my black probe, which is plugged into the common. I'm going to connect that to the chassis. Now I can't go to somewhere that's painted like this. I have to go to an internal part of the chassis, or even to like the ground probe area. Let's see, like here, although that screw is painted, so that might not be a good place either. But something that's a metal part of the chassis. And we can use that as our ground. So I am going to just go through one of these holes. And now with our red probe that's connected into the voltage side, so these are part of our filter capacitance. So I can check either side of those, and I'm doing this with just my right hand, with my left hand in my pocket or behind my back. Because this way, if I do get zapped, if I have both hands in the amp, it can cause that discharge to send current across my heart, which is the dangerous thing. Because that can throw your heart into defib. And then if there's not somebody there to give you CPR or get your heart back into a good rhythm, that is when you will die, unfortunately. Okay, so they mostly were curious. They understood that they could discharge or check the voltage on these guys. But how do you then discharge or check the voltage on these, which are also filter capacitors, which can hold charge? So what we're going to do is look at our preamp tubes, which are here, I believe. Let me double check. Since this is an AC 15 amp, they're all 9 pins. We can just check all these. So we're going to check the pins. Now, typically, pin 1 or pin 6 would be connected to our B plus via a resistor, and then would store voltage. Now you can see as I'm checking these, there's no voltage present on any. And again, I'm just being very careful to not accidentally short 2 of the pins to each other, and also not touch anything with my bare hand. And check these, even though I'm pretty sure these are the power tubes. Just in case I'm mixing that up, since they are both 9 pins. Okay. And I'm not seeing anything. If I saw anything that was over, 1 or 2 volts or even up to 5 volts, I would need to discharge this amp. And if you want to know how to do that, I have another video that shows exactly how to handle that same thing. I'll link that down in the description. Now, while I'm here, I could also look at, any of these resistors that are a larger size. You can check on whatever side of those is accessible just to see. Because if there is a fault somewhere, it is still possible you could be storing some voltage without it having a path to discharge. Okay, so we should be good to work on this amp. I'm going to pull this board down, and then we'll desolder that bright cap. Okay, so we can actually just disconnect these connectors and pull the whole thing out. This capacitor right here is kind of sticking out just enough, that's C29, that it was easier to rotate the board forward like this and then pull it out than to go back the other way. And these connectors were also kind of in the way, so I disconnected those just to make it that much easier. And again, C26, I'll post a little snippet of the schematic, but this is just going across part of the master volume. Now, bright cap, this is maybe, you know, it's not something everybody wants to do. I actually was fully prepared to talk to the customer about, are you sure you want to do this? Because this is a mod where people can oftentimes remove it and then decide they want it back in. He was fully aware of what that would do to the sound and has owned other Vox amps. So he's familiar with the sound of this and was confident that the bright cap, plain single coils on a top boost only version of this amp with distortion pedals, and at lower volumes where the bright cap is making a difference to the tone, has decided that that will be beneficial. So just to, you know, point out, this is not something that you want to necessarily just do confident it's going to change everything in your tone and make everything that much better. At high volumes, this capacitor is basically out of circuit. So just something to be aware of. Do your research before you pay somebody to do a modification for you like this. Or ideally, if you have a good amp tech, talk to them, ask their opinion, see if it's something that they will work with you on to see if with your gear and your tone it makes a difference. Okay, that's all there is to it. Just removed the solder from these 2 points and was able to wiggle the capacitor loose. Some people will even just put this on a switching jack or a switching pot, or even just lift one side, although lifting one side can be a little problematic because then that other leg can break or something else like that, and then you have a loose capacitor component floating around. Not really seeing anything else in here that needs attention at the moment. There is a missing nut from the other secondary speaker jack on this side. I'll talk to the customer about that. They had concerns about the plastic input jack, but everything looks okay, at least on the inside there. Not seeing any reason to be concerned about it. I did touch up a couple of the solder joints on the pots that were a little suspicious, but nothing looked like it had failed necessarily, just that might be a problem in the future. And since I was there, we're otherwise going to throw this thing back together, give it a quick test, and it'll be on its way. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll see you on the next one.